alienate, extrapolate, pine, misconstrue 4つの動詞を紹介します。英語は基本的にシンプルの方が伝えやすい。いつもそういうふうに生徒さんたちに言ってます。例えばね、あさって the day after tomorrow おととい the day before yesterday 英語の方はややこしいですね。しかし正直に言うと使う回数、その使い頻度が日本語より低いような気がしますね。そのおとといとかあさってとかそういう言葉に関してね。一般的に Thursday とか The 25th 直接に言った方が早いような気がしますね。The day before yesterday と言われたらね、まあ普通の人間より頭がちょっと回転が遅いかもしれませんが、でもすごい考えますね。The day before yesterday、じゃあ今日は木曜日だとしたらThe day before yesterday じゃあ yesterday のことは水曜日かな Wednesday その前の日 The day before その日はそれは Tuesday のことかな。すごいなんかパズルみたいに混乱してしまいますね。みんな英語のネイティブスピーカーはこんな感じかな。自分だけかな。今度聞いてみよう。でもね、こういう時もあります。シンプルな動詞がなんとなく物足りないです。get, have, take とかそういう定番的な動詞がね、いつも使った方がいいよ、シンプルの方がいいよといつも言ってるかもしれませんが、場合によりますけど、パンチ力が足りない時もあります。そんな時にぴったりな動詞を使った方が伝わりやすいです。例えばね、こういう時日本語でね、オフ会に行ってきました。オフ会に参加しました。どうですか？なんか感じませんか？ちょっと違いますよね。意味的には一緒なんですが、なんとなく参加するという言葉の選び方の方がイメージがつきやすいという感じがしませんか？そういうことですね。Alrighty, it's time to push on with our first verb. Are you ready to learn something new? The first verb is alienate. 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 Here's the meaning in Japanese. So the verb alienate is an extremely negative verb. It means to make someone feel isolated, excluded, or distant from others. This is often done by actions, words, or behavior that creates some kind of emotional distance between a person and another person, or one person and a group of people. Is it like bullying? In essence, I'd say yes, but there is no physical touching or violence involved like you would probably associate with traditional bullying. It can occur in relationships or work environments, social groups, making someone feel unwanted or perhaps unimportant. Alienation can lead to feelings of loneliness, confusion, and a lack of connection with others. Now, I'm sure you're very familiar with the word alien, a creature from outer space who is not part of our world. Interestingly, the word alien is sometimes used in immigration topics, but it has become somewhat old-fashioned. I remember when I first came to Japan many moons ago, we were given an alien card, known in the foreign community as a gaijin card. But the name has since been modernized and they're now called a residence card. His disregard for Japanese traditions resulted in him alienating his colleagues. So if someone doesn't respect the local culture or the traditions within a particular country, then it is one way to kind of alienate yourself from the people from that culture. So if you come to Japan and you don't follow the culture or you don't try to kind of fit in some way, then you're going to kind of alienate yourself from the people in the community. She didn't mean to alienate her friends, but her constant complaints pushed them away. So this is not really particularly a cultural problem. This is just kind of a human problem. It can happen anywhere. So if you're someone who's always complaining, always negative, little by little, gradually, naturally you can alienate yourself from your friends. You kind of pushed outside of the group and nobody wants to talk to you. You alienate yourself. Here's a quote from Alec Baldwin, an American actor and director. He has received multiple awards throughout his career, including a Golden Globe Award and several Screen Actors Guild Awards. I did not have a happy family life a few years ago. I was divorced and I was very alienated from my daughter. And I was out there cutting every ribbon and running around New York, hosting events for different causes to supplant my loss because I didn't have a family to go home to. Now, I don't want to be Mr. Show Business anymore. The second verb is extrapolate. 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 This is what it means in Japanese. To extrapolate means to take known information, such as data or trends, and make predictions or draw conclusions about future events or unknown situations. It's often used when we want to estimate or infer something based on existing evidence, even when we don't have the full details. So let's break the word down to its Latin roots. Now, extra means beyond or outside. So it indicates something that goes beyond the limits of what is currently available or known. Polaris means to set up or to make smooth. So this part of the word refers to the process of bringing together or drawing conclusions from existing data or information. In what situations is extrapolate commonly used? Number one, data analysis. Extrapolating helps to predict future trends based on current data. Number two, science and research. Scientists extrapolate data from experiments to predict outcomes in similar situations. Number three, business and economics. Business professionals extrapolate market trends to forecast future performance. Number four, weather forecasting. Meteorologists extrapolate weather patterns to make predictions about future weather conditions. Number five, everyday conversation. People can use the word in informal settings when speculating about future events based on what they know now. So in a nutshell, extrapolation is when we try to predict the future based on patterns, even when we don't have all the information. Based on current visitor trends, analysts extrapolate that Kyoto will face even greater congestion in the next 5 years. So analysts, they've been looking at the numbers and they have come up with the conclusion that it's going to get worse. So they have extrapolated all this data and they're probably going to think, oh, this is going to happen. So they're kind of looking into their crystal ball like a fortune teller and they're coming up with a conclusion based on data that this will happen. They have extrapolated. Using current inflation rates, analysts can extrapolate potential price changes for the coming year. So these analysts, they've analyzed and they've extrapolated, they've looked at the data, they've looked at the trends, and they've come up with a conclusion. These are the probable figures, and this is what's going to happen in the future. They extrapolated. Let's have a real-life quote from George Saunders, an American writer known for his satirical and experimental short stories, which explore themes of consumerism, morality, and dystopian futures. For me, the game would be to assume a very intelligent reader who can extrapolate a lot from a little. And that's become my definition of art. To get that pitch just right, where I can put a hint on page 3 and the reader's ears go up a bit, as opposed to dropping it all on the first page. I'm Charlie, and I'm a chocolatier. I don't want to alienate any of you guys out there, but if you're still eating Meiji chocolate, Godiva chocolate, or perhaps even Cadbury's chocolate, then maybe this is not the video for you. Go on, you can get out now. By analysing and extrapolating all the data from the best cocoa beans around the world, I have come up with the perfect recipe. It's a recipe made with the ultimate mixture of bitterness and sweetness in texture to make the most delectable handcrafted chocolate in the world. These are a box of chocolates from my shop. These come in at 7,000 yen for a box of 4. It's a bloody bargain. The third verb is pine. 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 What does it mean in Japanese? This is a verb that I wanted to include because you know the word pine itself, but a lot of people are unfamiliar with how to use it as a verb. Most people know about pine as in the name of the tree, matsu. In fact, that's how the word pineapple gets its name, because it looks like a pine cone, or as you say in Japanese, matsubokuri. As a verb, pine means to long for something or someone, often with a feeling of sadness. It usually implies a lingering sense of loss, nostalgia, or unfulfilled desire. A good example of this is the story of Greyfriars Bobby, the Scottish version of Chuken Hachiko. Both of these dogs pined for their owners. Greyfriars Bobby was a loyal Skye Terrier in 19th century Scotland who famously guarded his owner's grave for 14 years until his own death. His devotion became legendary, and a statue was erected in Edinburgh to honour his story, which remains a symbol of faithfulness and love. After moving away from home, he began to pine for his family and friends. So, maybe you're moving away from home for the very first time, going to university or something, and you're sitting in your apartment and you're looking at your photographs on your phone. Ah, Mummy, Daddy, my wonderful friends. You're pining for them. You really want to go home. You want to meet them. You miss them, basically. You're pining. He pined for the lost opportunities of his youth, regretting the paths he never took and the dreams he let slip away. So maybe when you get to a certain age, you might have this kind of feeling. You kind of pine for your younger days when, I don't know, you had so many opportunities, the future was really bright, and you kind of, you feel kind of like a little bit sad, a little bit nostalgic. Maybe you think about it a little bit too much, maybe when you've had a few drinks too many. You pine for like the good old days. Let's have a quote from Jon Favreau, an American actor and filmmaker who was involved in big hits like Iron Man, The Mandalorian, and The Wolf of Wall Street. For years, I was watching other people have so much fun playing up their version of authorship, like Louis C.K. and Larry David. As I watched them do their thing, I began to pine for the days when I had a lot less expected of me and often a lot more creative freedom. The courage that those guys have is always captivating to me. Next up, we've got misconstrue. 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 In Japanese, you'd say, misconstrue means to misunderstand or interpret something incorrectly. It's derived from the verb construe, which means to interpret or understand something in a particular way. When you misconstrue something, you interpret it wrongly, often due to confusion or miscommunication. Actually, I use this word in my videos from time to time, but it's kind of a difficult word, so I tend to use words like misunderstand or get confused. So let's go back to the original question. Why does "you want to play with me" get misconstrued so easily? The verb misconstrue is often used in formal contexts when referring to, like, interpreting the meaning of statements, actions, or events. It's a really good verb to know to beef up your vocabulary. I think you misconstrued my comment. I wasn't criticizing you, just offering advice. So if you think someone didn't really understand or they took what you said like the wrong way, then you can use this phrase. I think you misconstrued what I said, or I think you're misconstruing my point. It's a very good one, and it makes you sound clever. Don't misconstrue my silence in lack of interest. I'm just deeply absorbed in what I'm working on. So actually, I can be kind of guilty of this. So sometimes if someone's like asking me some questions, I'm in the middle of doing something. I'm listening, I'm very interested in what they're saying, and sometimes people can misconstrue that as being I'm not interested. But I'm really interested, I'm listening, but I'm just like focusing on the task which I have to do. So I don't know, maybe some people feel the same way. Here's a quote from Helen Keller, an American author and activist who overcame being both deaf and blind and became a strong advocate for people with disabilities. The danger of having the Constitution twisted and misconstrued to support vested interests and prejudices must be guarded against if American democracy is to maintain a progressive character. You're joining us live from St James's Park, where Newcastle have just gone top of the league with 2 magnificent goals from Bobby McTavish. And we're lucky enough to have Bobby with us here for a chat. Bobby! Aye, cheers. It was quite a game, wasn't it? 2 goals today, Bobby. The first one was a penalty, which you put away in the top right-hand corner. Aye, well, I picked my spot and it went in, you know, simple as, you know. And the second was an absolute screamer of a free kick. Aye, well, we'd been practicing that one all week in training, you know, me and the boys and that, so to see it go in there was just, it was a dream come true. I mean, all the hard work must have paid off in the end, eh? So, Bobby, how are you finding life down here in Newcastle? Aye, well, you know, I come from Scotland, so things are a wee bit different down here, so, you know, I'm getting used to it though. Are you pining for your haggis and iron brew from Scotland? Not really, no. Oh yeah. Now, Bobby, it's been in the media that you've had a few run-ins with the manager. Can you talk about that? Listen, me and the gaffer get along fine. I think people have just kind of misconstrued what I was saying in a few comments online. We get along like a house on fire. There's no problems at all. Well, I take your word for it, Bobby. Congratulations on a great performance. Cheers. Thanks very much. So that was Bobby McTavish, the man of the match. Back to the studio. It's homework time. Now remember, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. And if you found this video to be useful, please leave a thumbs up. It would really help out the channel. Okay, now, so the homework is this. Please make a sentence using the following words: alienate, workplace, and depression. Okay, so use those 3 words. You can put it in 1 sentence or 2 or 3 sentences if you want to make like a longer one. That's completely fine too. But try and use those 3 words, and especially the word alienate, because it's one of our 4 verbs in this video. Okay, so put your answers down in the comments below and I'll check them and get back to you as soon as I have some time. Good luck. I extrapolated data from loads of cocoa beans which have come from all over. The one before was okay.